I'd never been to Maine before I moved there. It wasn't really a decision. More like a default. After I got laid off and my relationship imploded in the same month, I needed somewhere, anywhere, to go. Somewhere cheap. Remote. Quiet. I found the listing on a private forum. No photos. Just a short description. Small house. Close to ocean. Utilities included. 600/month. It was in Lubec, a small coastal town, practically hanging off the northeastern edge of the US, right at the border with Canada. I googled it. Foggy, old, quiet. Looked like the kind of place where nothing ever happens. Perfect. I packed everything into my car and drove 14 hours straight. When I arrived, the owner didn't meet me in person. Just left a key under a planter and a note in the mailbox that read, "If anything feels strange at night, it's just the wind." Old bones settle loud. I should have turned around right then. The house was small. 1 floor. White paint peeling off the siding. A crooked little porch with 2 chairs that looked like they'd collapse under a strong wind. The windows were narrow and stained yellow at the edges like old teeth. But it had heat. A working kitchen. Decent water pressure. It was fine. The first few days were uneventful. I unpacked, bought groceries from a tiny store that only accepted cash, and tried to get into some kind of routine. Woke up early. Took walks by the water. Cooked. Slept. But the house didn't like routine. The first thing I noticed was the door. The back door, off the kitchen, the one that led to the tiny yard behind the house, kept unlocking itself. I'd wake up and find it ajar. Sometimes wide open. At first, I thought it was the wind, or the lock not catching properly. So I started testing it. I'd lock it, pull hard. Slam it shut. Push on it from the outside to make sure it stayed. Still. Every morning. Open. Then there were the cabinets. They wouldn't stay closed. I'd come into the kitchen and find every single one hanging open. Not wide, just an inch or 2. Like someone had peeked inside and forgotten to shut them. I started checking for drafts. Uneven floors. Even called the owner to ask if previous tenants had reported anything weird. He didn't answer. His voicemail was full. By the end of the first week, I started hearing it. Nothing dramatic. Just faint noises. Taps. Light knocking on the walls at night. The kind of sound you could almost convince yourself was in your head. But it wasn't in my head. Because it followed me. From room to room. Always 3 taps. Pause. 3 again. One night, I was brushing my teeth and saw movement behind me in the bathroom mirror. I turned around, nothing there. But when I looked again, the bathroom door was slightly more open than it had been. I didn't move it. And I swear the reflection of the towel rack was facing the wrong direction. Still, I stayed. Because what else was I going to do? Go back. Go where? And honestly, part of me wanted to know. Not what was happening. Why? It started with small things going missing. The remote. My phone charger. A single sock. At first, I figured I was being sloppy. Living alone messes with your routines, you forget where you put things, you get lazy, careless. But then things started to come back. Only not quite the way I left them. My charger reappeared under the bathroom sink. Wrapped neatly in an elastic band I don't own. The remote showed up on the porch. Batteries missing. Remote still warm. And the sock, the one I was convinced I'd lost in the wash, was on my pillow one morning, folded. Damn. There's something uniquely awful about realizing someone might be inside your house without ever trying to hide it. The knocking changed too. Still 3 knocks. Still the same rhythm. But louder. Closer. One night, I was sitting at the kitchen table eating dinner when I heard it, directly behind me. 3 sharp knocks. On the inside wall. Not the door. Not the window. The wall. Like it came from inside the house's frame. I froze, fork mid-air, and waited. Nothing followed. Just silence. Until the overhead light flickered. Once. Twice. Then stayed off. The next morning, I noticed something written in the dust on my bedroom dresser. 4 letters. Stay. It hadn't been there the day before. I would have noticed. I keep that dresser clean. And I know what you're thinking, dust settles, letters appear. Maybe I moved something, maybe I touched it myself. Except the S was backward. Not sloppily. Intentionally. Like someone had drawn it that way on purpose. And the whole word, stay, was angled slightly toward the mirror. I didn't sleep in the bedroom that night. Then came the photographs. Printed ones. At first I thought they were old ones I'd brought with me and forgotten, but no, these were different. Unfamiliar. One showed the living room, my living room, with a man sitting on the couch, facing away. He looked like me. Same build. Same haircut. But the photo was slightly blurry, like it had been taken from the hallway, behind the door. Another showed the kitchen, taken at night, I could tell by the clock on the stove. Someone had captured the exact moment I was drinking tea. I remembered that night. I remembered being alone. There was one more. It was a photo of the house. From outside. Taken from the edge of the trees behind the property. And in the upstairs window, the one above the bathroom I never used, there was someone standing there. White shirt. No face. Just, standing. I called the landlord again. Voicemail. I left a message. Calm. Controlled. Hey, I'm just wondering if anyone else has a key to the place. Maybe a cleaner. Previous tenants still coming around. Let me know. I never got a call back. But that night, there was a key in my mailbox. Old. Brass. Scratched up. No label. Just the key. And I swear to God, it was still warm. I tried to rationalize it. That's the sick part. Even with the photos, the knocking, the key, my brain still wanted to believe there was a reason. Some guy messing with me. A squatter's game. A sick prank by the landlord. So I started investigating. I searched the entire house for crawlspaces, hidden doors, anything. Nothing in the attic except dust and insulation. No loose boards. No floor hatches. But the basement. I hadn't gone down there yet. The stairs were warped, half-rotted, and the light switch at the top didn't work. The first time I opened the door, the smell hit me, damp wood, rust, something faintly sour like old fruit or forgotten trash. I took a flashlight and went down slow. It was small, maybe 10 by 10 feet, stone foundation, a rusted sink, and old shelves lining one wall. The farthest corner was covered in thick spiderwebs. But what caught my eye was the wallpaper. Yes, wallpaper in a basement. Peeling, water damaged. A faded floral pattern, like something from the 60s. I brushed some webs aside and saw that underneath it, was more wallpaper. Different pattern. Red, checkered. And under that, another layer. Then another. At least 6 different layers, stacked on top of each other. Each one older, darker, more faded than the last. And on the 3rd layer, someone had drawn on the wall. Tiny pencil marks. Over and over. Where did he go? Where did he go? Where did he go? At least 100 times. I backed out and shut the door. Hard. That night, I started hearing voices. Not speech. Not language. Just the shape of voices. Like the breath before words, just behind the drywall. I put my ear to the living room wall and stood there for 10, maybe 15 minutes. Nothing. Then. A whisper. So soft I thought it was in my own throat. Don't leave me in here. I started dreaming things that weren't mine. I saw a boy running through the hallway, crying. A man screaming in the bathtub. A woman staring into the mirror and slowly peeling the skin from her forehead. I don't have a bathtub. I don't know these people. But in the dreams, I did. Like I'd always known them. Like I was them. I found something else. Tucked behind the fridge, a bundle of old, yellowed letters tied with blue thread. All written by hand. All addressed to someone named Eli. The handwriting was jagged. Tight. Nervous. Eli, please stop turning the lights on at night. I know it's you. You said you'd stop moving my pictures. I need to sleep. You promised you weren't angry anymore. None of them were signed. But the last one was different. It was written in a darker ink. Thicker. Almost carved into the paper. If I forget you, will you forget me too? After that, the power started going in and out. Lights flickering. Radio turning on in the middle of the night, static, then music from the 40s. And I kept finding water on the floor. Little puddles. Even though there hadn't been rain in weeks. I don't know if it was Eli. Or someone Eli forgot. Or if I was forgetting something. But I started to feel it, deep in my chest, like grief that wasn't mine. Like the house wasn't haunting me. It was remembering itself. And using me to do it. I tried to leave on a Thursday. I remember that clearly. I packed fast, not everything, just what I could grab in 20 minutes. Laptop. Wallet. Phone. A backpack full of clothes. I didn't leave a note. I didn't shut off the lights. I just grabbed my keys and bolted for the front door. But it wouldn't open. Not that it was locked, the bolt slid clean. The knob turned. But the door wouldn't budge. Like someone was pressing back from the other side. Not slamming, not holding, leaning. I ran to the back door. Same thing. Then the windows. All of them were sealed shut. Paint swollen. Frame stiff. Not from weather, from will. I started to panic. My breath caught in my throat. I pounded the door, screamed, cursed. Nothing answered. Until I heard the hallway radio click on. I don't even own a radio. The music was slow. Warped. Like something from a dusty record player. I followed the sound to the guest bedroom, the one I never used. There, on the floor, was an old clock radio I'd never seen before. It was glowing faint green. The time blinking. 3:13 a.m. Even though it was still light outside. The music stopped. The static returned. Then a voice, barely audible. You forgot the upstairs light. There is no upstairs. Or, there wasn't. I walked through the house slowly, heart pounding in my ears. And I saw it, a narrow staircase tucked behind the coat closet. It had never been there before. I would have noticed. It was impossible not to. The door was open. The stairs were covered in dust. Undisturbed. Like no one had walked them in years. But the light at the top was on. I climbed. Step by step, the air grew colder. Denser. Like memory had weight. At the top, there was a single room. Unfurnished. Window boarded from the outside. Wallpaper stripped bare. And in the center, a chair. Wooden. Facing the corner. There was something in the chair. A bundle of clothes. A blanket. And beneath it. A shape. Still. Small. I didn't lift the blanket. I couldn't. I just stood there, knowing, someone never left this room. And the house never let them be forgotten. When I turned to go back down, the stairs were gone. Just wall. Old drywall. Paint cracked. No opening. No exit. I slammed my fist against it until my knuckles split. And from inside the room, I heard it. Don't leave me in here. The same whisper. Only this time, it wasn't behind the wall. It was behind me. I don't remember how I got back downstairs. I think I blacked out. When I came to, I was lying on the couch, face sticky with dried blood from my nose. My backpack was still by the door. Unzipped. And the front door was wide open. But I didn't run. I didn't move at all. Because I knew something was different now. The house had shown me what it wanted. Not fear. Not pain. Just presence. I closed the door. I locked it. I turned off the lights. And I slept in the guest bedroom for the first time. Some days I still think about leaving. I'll wake up, look at the sun filtering through the crooked blinds, and think, today. Today I'll go. But the thought passes. Like a dream fading in reverse. There's no urgency anymore. No fear. Just, a kind of stillness. Like the house has settled, and I've settled with it. I don't check the doors now. They lock themselves. I don't look for my phone. It hasn't had service in weeks. But the radio still works. It plays soft music in the mornings. Old songs I don't recognize but somehow know the words to. Sometimes it says my name. Just once. Soft. Like it's checking if I'm still here. There are things I don't remember. Important things, I think. Where I worked. What month it is. My father's face. The more I try to focus, the more it slips. Like the house is sanding me down, one memory at a time, replacing them with small tasks. Turn off the upstairs light. Close the back door. Water the dead plants. Stay still when the walls creak. I found a photograph yesterday. It was under the floorboard, tucked between two nails. It showed the front porch. My porch. But in the chair, the one that always looked like it would collapse, there's someone sitting. His head is down. But I know the shape. I know the posture. It's me. Or someone I used to be. Before I moved in. Last night, I walked past the hallway mirror and didn't recognize the reflection. It looked tired. Pale. Lips slightly open like it wanted to say something but forgot how. I paused and watched it. It didn't move. But it looked like it was listening. Not to me. To the house. I don't dream anymore. But sometimes, in that thick space just before sleep, I hear the whisper again. Right behind my ear. You forgot me. I think I was supposed to move on. Start fresh. Build something new. But the house doesn't believe in new. It only believes in memory. And I'm part of it now. A shadow folded into the walls. Breathing slow. Waiting. For someone else to forget why they came here too.